After about a month and a half, almost 2 months in Southeast Asia, I decided along with my friend Lori to fly to Seoul, South Korea to end our trip, my trip, her trip, both of our trips, in Seoul. And it was a great idea. We only spent about 4 days there, but we loved it. The food was amazing and I recorded a lot of it. So here is a compilation of my time in Seoul. Alright, I nearly killed myself trying to get to Seoul. I had this layover in Hong Kong that was overnight and I had to sleep in the airport and it was just kind of a disaster, but I finally made it to Seoul. I did that because I was trying to get the cheapest flight, of course, because we're budget travelers. But look, this is the Seoul airport, Incheon, I believe it's pronounced. It's so nice and pretty. This was the view from the train on the way to Seoul, and then this was the street leading up to our hotel. So beautiful, so cool. Oh, look at the foods in the market. They were so good. I loved those. They were like little vegan sushi rolls almost. We really kind of did a food tour of Seoul, as you're about to see. Like, I tried every food on the street and they were so good. This was like an ancient street up in the hills of Seoul that we went and walked in to see traditional style homes. We loved it. We thought it was so beautiful, and the view from there was also super gorgeous. Highly recommend if you're going to head up to that village up there. After we spent some time up in that village, we decided to go explore some markets. The best part of Seoul, to both of us really, was the incredible food markets there. There is so much variety and the food is so good. This was our favorite, and I believe it's the biggest, maybe? I forget the exact name of it, but if you look up, like, it'll come up as #1 thing to try. So we tried these first. They were those things that lady was frying. I'm not really sure what they were, but we really liked them. Maybe like an 8 or a 7 out of 10. They were super good, but compared to a lot of the other stuff we tried, we'll give it like a 7. And they were everywhere. Those were the same things. So then we walked around just trying to find the best possible food. Okay, so here we are back on the street. The thing about us in Seoul was we went in the wrong month, okay? Because it was so cold. Look at this Korean barbecue. I will never get over it. I crave Korean barbecue in actual Korea constantly. It was so good. Look at all these sides that it comes with. And it's just not comparable to U.S. Korean barbecue. It was so good. Okay, so then we found bagels. Bagels are like my favorite food. So in every country, if I find a bagel, I'm recording it. But yeah, so this was in the basement of a mall, I believe, and we got just different hot pot kind of stuff. The food in Korea is so good. And then this was downtown. We were walking to the famous palace, and we just did a super long walk from our hotel to kind of explore. That's it from the outside. Randomly on this day, it was free entry, which was like so lucky for us because we would have paid either way, but it was just like, we lucked out. And the inside is gorgeous. Look at all these details. We adored it. And we're back at a market now. We couldn't get enough. I would really highly recommend just going to every single market you can go to while you're there. But again, do not go probably in January because we were so cold. That was a Korean corn dog we were trying. I actually loved it. I didn't know if I would like it or not because I don't eat cheese, but yeah. We went to another Korean barbecue spot. We couldn't stop with the Korean barbecue. Once we tried it once, we were like, every night we've got to go here. So then we were exploring the nightlife and the streets there. Here's another food break. And we switched to a hotel in Hongdae, for our last night, which had the most beautiful view. Here's a little room tour of that hotel. We loved it so much. It was in a great area of Hongdae. And then we walked the streets just to get a little acclimated, got some really good boba tea. Here's the sunset from our hotel. Okay, Lori and I are trying to do karaoke here. And they put you in a little small individual room with this TV. We heard something you had to do in Seoul was karaoke, so there's only 2 of us, but we went to this little karaoke booth and had such a fun time. It took us so long to figure out how to use it, but when we did, we were partying, just the 2 of us, and then we walked around Hongdae to end our night. We love Seoul so much, and it was so sad to leave because the food was amazing, and I crave it all the time still. So that unfortunately concludes my series of backpacking Asia for 2023. I went and did all of these things in 2023, and recently I went back, so I have a bunch more videos of Asia coming soon for this year on my backpacking trip in Asia. But I adored it. I had the best time. I could not highly recommend enough. We loved every single place we went. I ate so much great food. I just feel like I am obsessed. It might be my favorite part of the world, and I'm so happy I went. Just a few tips for Seoul specifically, because this video is about Seoul. If you're going, they definitely have a really unique culture in terms of, like, I don't think that they, maybe I'm reading the room wrong, but I'm somebody who like doesn't dress up that much. Like I wear sweats, stuff like that. I think that they really respect people who maybe put a little bit more effort into their looks, which is totally fine. There's places like that in the US too, but we definitely got denied from some places in Seoul, so which is like not a big deal. I would just recommend if you're going, definitely bring some nicer clothes, dress up a little, and just be very respectful of the culture itself. We loved it. We had so much amazing food. There was definitely a lot less English there than there was in the entirety of Southeast Asia. So we were getting along like just fine in Southeast Asia. Pretty much everyone spoke English. Every menu was English. And I'm not saying that that needs to happen. Like every country doesn't need to be that way. I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing. I'm just saying if you are an English speaker or somebody who goes to these other countries who can speak English, expecting to lean on that, Seoul is a little bit harder to get around, and it's a little bit harder to be a tourist in, just because there's not a lot of English, and it's just a little bit harder to get around. So I'd recommend not taking your first solo travel trip to Seoul. It's a lot easier with more people, and to just front load knowing, learn some Korean before you go, and be very respectful while you're there. I loved it so much, but I know for myself it would have been a hard thing to do as like the first solo backpacking trip I ever did. If you're looking to do solo backpacking, I would really highly recommend, if you want to go to Asia, I would really highly recommend starting in Southeast Asia. Like Thailand is a great place to start, and then moving on from there and going to Seoul. Don't miss Seoul because it's a great place. But those are my final thoughts. I was so sad to leave Seoul. I loved it so much, and I was so sad to leave Asia in general, but I go back. So keep a lookout for those videos. Okay, thanks for watching my Asia series. Bye.